You know, it probably wasn't a great idea, me coming home, which was about an hour and a half, just having chewing gum the entire time, knowing that I was going to record a video when I got home. So now my jaw is absolutely killing me. So in the Rust sphere, there's quite a lot that is going off, both on PC and on console. We have a lot to dive into. The DMs that I shared within my community tab with you surrounding 3 topics. We've got the quality of life update, I think, within the changelogs that I got shared via Discord, as well as some things as well it's good to discuss on. So this might be a long video. So as I always do, I take questions which you guys want to get the answers to and basically provide them to Pedro, who is the community manager for Rust Console, who also obviously works at Double 11. So first off, I said, hi Pedro, hope all is well. I have a couple questions to ask if you have time to. Number 1, and we're going to go through question by question. So number 1, and then I'll say the answer, so on and so forth. Number 1, a lot of players want better graphics and above 60 FPS. People believe old gen is holding this back. Whilst yes, old gen does not help, are there other factors players are not considering as to why there's not better FPS or graphics for the game currently? Pedro swiftly replies with, hey Toxic, some I can reply to, but others you have to check with Rustzilla. Now Rustzilla, I've sent you a friend request on Discord, fucking accept it. Pedro says, number 1, we know how much a new gen version of the game has been requested, and I can say that the team is aware of it, but I can't share more on this front. PS4 and Xbox One are the intentional release platforms, and our plan is to support that for as long as we can. Now with the 60 FPS front, that's not entirely to do with the console itself, that's more to do with the monitor you're playing on. So if you're playing on a monitor that just doesn't have, you know, enough in it to run a 60 FPS game, that's kind of a skill issue on your end. So when Rust Console was released for Xbox One and PlayStation 4 back in 2021, it was probably okay because old gen was still being optimized worldwide on a lot of games such as FIFA, 2K, you name it. But now we're in 2024, fastly approaching GTA 6, which I'm guessing new consoles will come out just because of how much that game will take in new heights within graphics and performance wise. Whilst Double 11 are aware that people want better graphics, they want, you know, a better performing game than it already is, because let's be honest, if we're gonna, you know, you are really deluded, in my opinion, if you think the game won't get better if we drop old gen in terms of graphics and performance. Of course it will, that's why they fucking bring out new consoles. The thing is, even looking in today's market, you still have games such as FIFA, 2K and Call of Duty that are still optimizing these old generation consoles. It says here, available on Xbox and PlayStation, Black Ops 6 is digital cross-gen editions include the base game playable on both console generations within the same console family, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, or PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4. So if these games and, you know, game titles are still going to consider and optimize the game for old gen consoles, then, you know, Double 11 are just going to follow suit with this. I guess, you know, they're not going to shoot themselves in the foot just yet with the conclusion of old gen that will be fastly approaching. The thing is, the game doesn't even look that bad on old gen. I'll just put up a screenshot here, and then I just saw this comment saying it's playable, sure, but I think 8th gen is done by now, 11 years old. It was a very good run. I don't know why these people are just, you know, keeping up with this old gen. I think you just got to move forward. It's been over a decade. It's had a good run, like the person said, and I think it's just time to move on. That goes for all games, but Rust Console specifically, a game where, you know, graphics can be a really good thing for the game itself, because it is a beautiful game if you play on PC, but when you come to, you know, Rust Console, it's kind of like you telling your mate, yeah, let's get a Domino's pizza tonight, and they reply just saying, nah, I want a Papa John's. My second question to Pedro is this: is there anything you know about the quality of life update in November? If so, are you able to describe it with emojis? Look, if I can't get that much out of him within words, emojis might be the next thing, but he did not reply to this, obviously, because he wanted me to contact Rustzilla. However, I can't contact him because he hasn't added me on Discord, but I do have some screenshots to do with the changelogs that we're going to cover, and basically everyone knows this by now if you don't already. It's in the Rust Console Discord. Unfortunately, I'm banned from there, thanks Weeping Honey, so you guys send me these and I really do appreciate that. So we'll go into the quality of life updates after these questions from Pedro. My third one is, people want to know about an anti-cheat. I know you've covered it in the past with me. Is the progression positive for it? And Pedro then says, progress is super positive. We are tracking the numbers and gathering some data. What I can say at the moment is that the number of users with third-party devices is really small, given the wider player base the game has. I can't share exact numbers at the moment, but it's way smaller than I expected. We will keep making progress on this front to solve the issue. So whilst I appreciate Pedro and basically anyone from D11 giving me information about, you know, what's to come with the game and, you know, the development of the anti-cheat, what I have to say is don't take everything for face value. And I'm talking to you guys because I've been told this throughout my time playing Rust console. Whilst I appreciate again the answers that are given to me, you know, sometimes they might not always be correct. Now, whilst I, you know, firmly believe that, especially in today's market in terms of player base, there might be less cheaters than when we once thought, especially now that a load have been banned via TikTok and YouTube. So the less players you have making videos when they're cheating, the less people will cheat, yada yada yada. However, let's say the cheating was maybe as bad as I once thought in the past. You know, you're not going to be the community manager, or you're not going to be the person at Double 11 that's going to say, yeah, we have a really bad cheating problem and it's quite bad. You know, it's not the best thing to tell a content creator or even put out in a dev blog for people to see, because it's not going to promote the game or highlight the game in the way that Double 11 wants it to be highlighted in. You know, if you say to, you know, your community, we have a really bad cheating problem, they're not going to then tell their friends, oh yeah, let's play this game. If they were to, they'll just go buy the fucking devices themselves. So I don't know how badly the cheating has gotten, because when I played, it was awful, and I would make rant videos all the time, and I would complain to Double 11 like something needs to be done. And hopefully, you know, this anti-cheat can hurry up, because I still think there still needs to be one. I still think the cheating problem is bad. So those are the questions I asked Pedro. Those were the answers he kindly provided. Big shout out to ItemCat on Discord. He gave me these screenshots of basically the quality of life update that we're now going to discuss. There's a whole list of this. So if you want to pause the video, look at the list, be sure to do that. I'm going to go through them kind of like fast as possible, really, because there's a lot of yipper yapper, and we'll talk about it firmly off. So this is patch 1.5, and what they've added is this: remote C4. C4 can now be triggered remotely using the RF transmitter, Q jump system after disconnecting from a server, left-handed POV option, which you'll see gameplay in the background of that. I'm not even going to lie to you, the list is so fucking big, I'm just going to leave it at that. There's basically a lot of stuff within this. Now, I posted it on TikTok saying this is the quality of life update, and I had a few people saying, nah, this is not it. Sure, there could be stuff added, but this big of an update, like patch notes to now that are on the PTB, that's just not nothing. That is the quality of life update, and I hope something else comes with it, because in my opinion, there's not going to be a lot of happy people. I mean, there's a lot of changes within the game, we get it, but there's not as lot as we thought there would be in terms of like major things happening. There's a lot of small things that make up the bigger picture, and I can accept that, and it'll make the game better in the long run. A load of people are going to be looking at the visuals, so if we just quickly cast our eye over the visual: added cactus flesh world model, whoopee. Dust particles no longer cast blocky shadows behind a horse when it runs in the desert. Roads now branch out more naturally, rideable horses. Snow textures are no longer pixelated when merged into the ground. Road connections are no longer disjointed. Industrial doors in the outpost no longer have LOD issues. The underwater visual filler or filter is now applied when the player is underwater around the oil rig moon pool. The pavement in train yard is no longer invisible. The Bradley APC fire particle effects now emit correctly when severely damaged. The texture of the pop-up window for server, I'm not even going to lie, it just boards the fuck out of me reading these. So I'll leave these here for you to just pause, look through them if you need to. You can always go on TikTok as well. But basically my point is that there's a lot of small things that make the game, I guess, better, but not a lot of drastic changes, you could say, such as better graphics. This is something that I don't think we're going to be getting until maybe a new gen version or somewhat of a terrain update. So if we cast our eyes back over to PC Rust, they have this whole new terrain, and by God does it look nice. I'll have the trailer up in the background. PC Rust is kind of getting back to its best. And the thing is with PC Rust as well is that they have a really nice FOV counter that you can go from zoomed in or zoomed out. And what I can say is, whilst we have a new FOV being the left-handed FOV for console, we unfortunately don't have the 120 FOV, or the old FOV you could call it. We don't have it, and I don't know why. I just don't know why, because they've done it once. Can't they just do it again? When you have so many people asking for such a small update, I don't know how big in terms of the update it will just put on the game. Like, it's an FOV change, for fuck's sake. More importantly, I want to know what you guys think of these updates. The quality of life, there should be something at the end of this month, as I said previously, that this will basically be set in stone. This will come to main branch for December if it is ready. If it's not ready, then obviously they'll postpone it. But hopefully there's more covered in the devlog than this. I hope anyway. I think there will be, personally, but we're just going to have to wait and see. For now, we have all of those things within the test branch if you want to go over and try them out. And then if ready, it should be hitting main branch within the back end of November or early December. As well, we'll be having the December Christmas event, which I think, if I remember correctly from reading off the list, that it's a little bit new, or they've added something else. So hopefully that'll be cool. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I appreciate the support that you've been giving me since I've come back in the last 2 videos. Leave your comment down below for your reaction of this video. Are you excited? Are you underwhelmed? Or are you overwhelmed? Let me know. Subscribe if you're new around here. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.